brought to you by SRX Wedding DJs. Today, we're going to be going over all the do's and some of the don'ts of being the perfect wedding guest. So without any further ado, hang around and we're going to get right into it. Wedding season is always the best excuse to drink and celebrate, but it is really important to remember that attending a wedding is more than just a party, but a privilege. The fact that the couple wants to spend their special day with you is really special, especially considering the hard work, time, dedication, and all of the things that went into planning their perfect day. Not to mention, they're paying to keep you happy and fed, so it's super important to respect their wishes. From dress code to +1 to RSVPing, we're going to go over all of the do's and some of the don'ts of being the perfect wedding guest. Let's start with all the things that you do want to do when attending a guest. Starting with RSVPing by the exact deadline provided by the couple. Remember that for the couple to be able to confirm things at their wedding, such as catering, seat charting, and guest goodies, the newlyweds will need full guest numbers months before the wedding. Because of this, it's really important to make sure you check your schedule and ask off work ahead of time and RSVP at your earliest convenience. Even if you have to set an alarm 5 hours from now from when you get home from work, just make sure they're RSVPing by their deadline or even earlier if you can. Next, make sure if a couple takes the time to make a wedding website and send you a link that you're checking that website. Many couples are super busy getting everything ready for their wedding, setting everything up, and communicating back and forth with lots of friends and family. So it's super important you check the website so that they're not having to answer questions over and over and over again by the same people or the same questions over and over again by different people. Plus, looking over the website will give you an overall guideline of everything to expect at the wedding, from scheduling to registry info to directions, so it's super important not to skip over it. It's also super important to be on time because weddings always run on a super strict schedule. From the time the ceremony begins, to the speeches, to the first dance, all of it is scheduled out and you have to make sure that you arrive on time or early as a guest. The next thing you want to make sure you're doing for all weddings is following the dress code if the couple put a specific one in order. Dress codes are there for two reasons. First, to help make sure no guests are overdressed or underdressed, because nobody likes to be that guy, especially when they see pictures later. And secondly, dress codes ensure that guests are choosing outfits that fit with the tone of the theme or dress code suggestions that the couple specifically ask for. Take note that it's not uncommon, especially these days, for couples to ask their guests to wear a specific color or specific type of dress to fit the theme. This is usually for picture purposes. And lastly, really make sure you're showing your appreciation to the couples. Weddings are super fun, but it's really important to acknowledge all the hard work, time, and dedication that went into making sure that all the guests were happy. So don't forget before you leave to grab the couple, give them a congratulations, and really tell them how much fun you had during their event so that they feel like all their hard work really pays off. Now that we went over some do's, we're going to go over some things that you should keep in mind to never do whenever you're a guest at a wedding. Don't number 1. Don't ever assume that you can bring a +1. Knowing, as we discussed, all of the money and time that goes into ensuring guests are happy at weddings, it's super important to respect the guest wishes and do not bring a +1 unless they specifically say in the invitation that you are allowed to. Keep in mind that every +1 brought to the wedding is an extra seat, an extra goodie, and an extra food and beverage that the couple has to pay for and keep in mind when planning. So if they didn't tell you could bring a +1, there's probably a good reason for it. So don't drive them nuts asking them if you can bring one when they said no, or asking them why you can't, because just trust, they probably have a reason. Don't number 2. Do not take photos during the ceremony. Many times, couples will ask that guests do not have out cell phones or any other device and specifically are not taking pictures during the ceremony. I cannot stress this one enough. So many times, couples pay photographers lots of money to capture their special moment, and guess what? Then they share it with their guests for free when they get them back. All you have to do as a guest is wait for the pictures to be edited and sent out to the couple, and if the newlyweds can do it, I think you can too. Not only are guests gonna get the opportunity to see all of these amazing photos that are taken professionally, but having your cell phones out and taking pictures can actually ruin some of the pictures that these couples are paying so much for the photographers to try to take. So really keep that in mind next time you think about getting your phone out and snapping a picture of this special moment. Next, don't go overboard with the free food and drinks. Food and drinks provided at the wedding is usually one of the best parts for the guests. but it's also one of the most pricey parts for the newlywed. If food isn't served to you already portioned out, just remember to be really cautious of your serving portions whenever you're getting your own plate. Typically, couples only order precisely enough food for each guest, so going overboard can not only leave other guests empty-handed, but it can also reflect really badly on the newlyweds, which is never what you want to do. Make sure to enjoy the food. By all means, that's why it's there, but just remember to be respectful and don't take advantage of the fact that it's free and go overboard, leaving others with nothing. Next, do not bring your kids unless you're specifically given the okay to do so. If each guest can't bring a +1 because of the cost and space, imagine how much each parent bringing their kids could really affect the outcome of the planned wedding. Not only could there simply just not be enough seats or not be enough food, but some couples just choose to have child-free weddings, and there are multiple reasons for that. The first reason being kids require a lot of attention and to be entertained at almost all times. Not only do couples invite you to their wedding to have a good time and relax, which is really hard with kids, but they also want your undivided attention to the events that they've worked really hard to plan out, which is really hard to do whenever you're watching kids. Not to mention, kids are really loud, which can really be a bummer on couples wanting to get videos of their vows. And secondly, not all weddings are kid-friendly and shouldn't have to be. Sometimes couples simply want to celebrate their day without having to cater to any children or having their friends and family be distracted by kids. So just remember to get a babysitter for the weekend and relax and have a good time. Kid-free. Lastly, don't make the day about anything other than the special couple. Weddings and marriage specifically is the goal, right? This is a single day with no repeats that couples look forward to long before they even get engaged to spend with each other and with loved ones. As we mentioned, it's a day to really celebrate and unite two people, and it's a great memory for the guest and the couple. The last thing that any couple needs on their special day, although I feel like it happens far too often, is anyone taking the special time dedicated to the couple away from them on that day. So just remember, whether you're a wedding member, a family member, or simply a guest, it is your job and responsibility to ensure that the couple, for just that day, feels loved and special. So just keep in mind that anything that needs to be said can wait and anything that goes wrong can be fixed, but your job is not to cause any more stress on the couple than needs be, and to let them have their day and be happy and stress-free. That about sums up all of the do's and don'ts of being a wedding guest, but remember to always have fun at the wedding and the reception, and to just always be mindful of the event and the couple, and it should be a good time for everyone. Thanks for coming along on another video with me. I had lots of fun making this video as usual. Don't forget to like, give us a big thumbs up, and subscribe to Lovely Weddings, and don't forget to check out our next video. Thank you!